All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Monday check-in. This is Art with Arrow, and let's go. All right, y'all. All right, welcome. I just wanted to say, this year is coming to a close, and it feels like it just blew right by. But we're down to just 2 Mondays left. We only do our podcast on Mondays, so we got this day and next week, and we are into a new year, y'all. Wow. So I felt like this would be a great day for us to pause and kind of, look back on what we made success on and, reflect on the year basically. Reflect on the year, one final reflection before we close out the year. We just want to visit our wins, some lessons, some setbacks, our growth, just all the things that we've been trying to work hard on this year to get better at. Before we rush into our plans, though, of today, I always do my little reflection of last week. I didn't get many game streams in last week, so that was just a point of the holiday season upon us. And this week will probably be the same. I won't get a lot of game streams in, but we'll try to keep pushing with our bit of gaming news, which we've been, pushing out every day. Which, to me, I think that's one of the things we can talk about in the year reflection. Also, we did get our podcast done, which we've been extremely successful with, staying consistent with this. And we did a little art video. We drew Snoopy last week, which was, we did a Snoopy Claus, which was like, just Snoopy in a Santa outfit on his house riding into the sun. Well, riding off, whatever. I didn't put the sun on that, no background. But still, it was fun. So that was pretty much last week in a nutshell. And for everybody that's new, I always forget to kind of, do the introduction. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the podcast. We are doing this Monday podcast, and it's more of kind of me kind of letting out my thoughts on how we can hopefully progress and get better at becoming a content creator. So in today's talking points, what we're going to kind of look at is just a reflection of our year, and up here, I've got our podcast up for the analytics, just so we can kind of see where we're going with this. I mean, obviously I started, you can see, this was in April of this year. So the podcast is only, it's not even 12 months old. I mean, we got started with this. You can see the first video here. And, we've been doing one pretty much every Monday throughout the whole year. I don't think I missed one, but if I did, I might be mistaken. Our growth has not been great on this, and I know the podcast market is extremely saturated, so, launching it as a podcast, but we're also live streaming on Twitch now, which I think is good, and we're just going to post videos to YouTube to make the podcast, and also it's going to Spotify, which then has the RSS feed, which goes to Apple and it's called Amazon Music. I forget, it's Amazon Music. So we're pretty much kind of spread out all over the place when it comes to our podcast, which is, I think, good. But the success of it has not been the best. I know, like I said, it's a saturated market. And, what I'm talking about is mainly just hopefully it's something that's going to help other creators that are struggling along the lines of like I am, and it's mostly for folks that aren't full-time creators, because I'm not a full-time creator. I just create, in my spare time, so we look at what we got going on in life. Work a full-time job, got my family, kids are off for the holiday break, and you can probably hear them maybe chattering in the background, but family life is always first. The job, and then I'm a retired Navy, so I'm retired, veteran, disability, all that stuff, so life is pretty challenging overall. And then when you want to try to add in being a content creator, you're adding certain levels of not stress. They are a little bit stressed, but because you're trying to like make good content, and always don't have the time to do it. So it is what it is, right? But this podcast is mostly for folks like me who you work and you want to try to do content. You're trying to figure things out. We're figuring it out along the way, so you can join us on the journey. And if you want to chime in and say, hey, I had that similar issue, or this is how I worked through it, and this is what I figured out, that's all good, helping each other out. Excuse me, y'all, I needed a drink. I got me a little Coke Zero here. Okay, so just looking at the numbers, the views were very low for our podcast. Watch time obviously very low, and those kind of go hand in hand, and only 3 subscribers in this last 365 days. So it's not a lot of subscribers, So our podcasting channel is very, very low on growth and everything. We're going to continue doing it because I enjoy doing it, and maybe people will join in on a live stream eventually. I think it's one of those things you just have to keep being consistent, keep doing, and hopefully I'm coming up with different ideas and things to talk about that will hopefully encourage people to want to participate, I guess. So, looking at our art channel, which, like I've discussed this before, we divided our art, gaming, and podcasting channels into 3 different channels. Originally, when I started YouTube, it was just one channel that was art and gaming. So I do have gaming content on the Art with Arrow channel. This would be pretty much the first channel here. And since I've been more consistent with the art content, we've been doing one art video every Friday with plans of increasing that for next year. So every Friday, we've been pretty consistent with getting an art video done, I believe. You can see we're definitely a lot more active. Just looking at the amount of content we started pumping out on this channel. And throughout the year, I guess as I put 365 days, we've gained 36 subscribers, which is nice. So the channel is got a little bit of growth there. We've got more watch time, even though it's low, because most of the videos are speed drawing, so they're very quick. They're like only like a minute or two. And we also got more views. So definitely some progress here, and I think next year we're going to push for more progress, because like I said, Christmas I'm getting a very fancy camera, which will have a higher quality video footage for our art stuff, and there'll be more opportunity for us to grow, y'all. Be much more opportunity for us to grow if we're pumping out art more. So if we're doing like a little bit of art each day, even though there'll be shorter videos, we'll have more content, I think, and then we can combine them and make it into one at the end of the week. So that's kind of the idea for that channel. Now here's where we've really made a lot of progress, I believe. Looking at our gaming channel, y'all, my push has been more towards the gaming side for this year, and it's pretty evident in just looking at how we've been pushing it. Subscribers have been pretty good, 134. That's pretty good for me. Watch time is really good too, 1.2K. That's pretty good. And then our views, 154K, almost 155. You can round it up, I guess. But it's, I guess in this case you wouldn't round it up, but you would just say 154. We'll round down, But, our push has been mostly gaming stuff. So, like doing more of the bit of gaming news. We did a lot of, what new games are coming out. I kind of stopped the new games coming out. But maybe we could bring that back. I don't know. So, the push has been more towards the gaming channel, and it shows. Just getting one video in every day. And we've been getting better. We've tried out a lot of different methods on making these little shorts and little videos. So, next year we're definitely going to be switching it up a little bit more and trying to push to kind of tighten ourselves down and make our content a little better, especially in the way I present it, which I know a lot of times I'll just read something because I'll write like a little script or have a little script and I just read from it. Got to get better at just better presentation instead of just reading from it. So we're going to work towards making that better for next year. And this is kind of where we're at, y'all. We've made a lot of progress this year. And I think as long as we stay consistent into the next year, we can definitely see more progress as we go along, y'all. Which will be great. That's the goal, is trying to progress, try to get better at making the content, as well as being consistent with the content we're laying out, in the time that we have. So, and I discussed this plenty of times before. We usually got about 2 to 3 hours ish, every Monday through Friday. That's about the maximum amount of time that I'm able to, put towards it. And sometimes it's enough, sometimes it's not, just depending on what we're trying to get done. So, did things go as planned this year? I think we had a lot of challenges, obviously, with appointments and other stuff. We had to switch up at the end of the year because kids are getting a new activity. So Tuesdays are kind of a wash for doing streaming. So we are actually reducing our time with that. So, and it's fine. So we got Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to get content done. Things are family first, so we worry about the content later. So there was challenges with scheduling, and I think we had some challenges with just coming up with ideas on how to make content, because I was trying to figure out different things to try, different things to do, different ways to be silly or funny and have it more interesting. But I'm gonna work on that even more next year, and we're gonna try to push the envelope on what I can do, because not everybody can, present the content in, that kind of way. So it's figuring it out is what's the best way for me to present it and make it interesting for folks. So we're gonna continue to work on that. We hit some milestones that I was really proud that we hit. We got over 200 subscribers on our gaming channel, which is really good. The art channel, I think we are still, where are we at on the art? We're at 377. So we're growing here too, which is great. And over here we're at 208. So and I wanted to get above 200 this year, and we hit that marker. People subscribing and actually participating. That's another goal that I had. I wanted more participation. I'm seeing participation, but it's not as much as I would like. More comments. Interacting with folks. Trying to push for that more next year. Because we got 200 subscribers, but not all of them very active. In like commenting or liking or whatever. So, hopefully we can push that up, more and get more participation out of folks. That will also hopefully be a goal for next year. Getting more participation out of folks and making it more interactive. Making our content more interactive. As always, I appreciate. I try to do gratitude videos, like we did. Like when we hit 200, I did the little video thanking everyone for subscribing and all that. So I want to be able to give back in whatever ways I can. And just being able to take time out and say thank you, I think was important. For help for those who actually joined the channel and became members of the Artistry Society. So it feels good when you hit an achievement, and you owe that to the folks that helped you along the way, right? So so showing gratitude was very important. And I also want to do before the end of the year, art marathon. I think I had mentioned it before, but I just got to figure out how we're going to do it. Just whoever comes into the chat and requests the drawing is going to get a drawing right then and there. We're going to just do them one after the other. Up to a certain amount of time, because my time is very limited, so we have to be quick with sketches, and we're just going to do quick sketches of whatever people want to draw for that day. So I'm going to figure that out, if we could do that this week, either Friday night or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out, though. We'll definitely figure it out. Hopefully I can make that happen. Setting the tone for next year, I don't really consider it like resolutions. I think, next year is more about, just being, intentional about staying consistent and continuing down the path we're going. I think we're on the right path as far as like becoming a decent content creator. It's just I still have a lot of little things I need to work on. Mainly just the way I present the bit of game and news. I want to make that better. I want to make that better, and I got to keep working on the way I speak and the way I present the content, and maybe not only just writing the script, but like kind of like knowing it, so I don't have to like read from it, or whatever, go from it like that, so maybe memorization. Got to work on my memorization. So a lot of things to work on. As far as art content, I always enjoy doing any kind of artwork. So just sketching or drawing or painting, whatever, it's going to be fun. Whatever we do next year, which I would like to do more paintings next year, or full projects, something we can like sketch, then draw, then finalize, or something like that. That's the kind of goal or idea for next year. Is like the process will be like a week long. We'll do maybe sketching for day one, which would probably be a Monday. Then a Wednesday will be like, we're drawing it. Then Thursday, we're probably like, starting the painting. And then Friday, we're finishing the painting or something like that. Just kind of like a week-long project. That way we get different pieces. And then at the end of the week, we tie it all together into one video. and drop that. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking for next year for the art. Which we can tighten all this down in our next Monday podcast. But yeah, so I mean, lessons learned. I mean, really, I got to keep working on making the content better. You know, there's always been like videos that I feel like I could have done them better. And that's just me learning how to do this. But I think by us being consistent with like at least making the content, I'm getting more and more practice. And even though it may not seem like it to me, I know I've made progress in the way I'm presenting stuff. It's just not 100% where I want it to be. And that's a good thing because, recognizing that, you need improvement in things, I think is very, very important, to recognize that, hey, I still got to work on this. I'm doing this way, but I still got to push myself. Still got to work on it. I still got to try to get to that next level. And I think, with the Monday podcast, this helps me think about that, it helps me to, kind of look at it and reflect like, I did some of those videos and there was not enough effort put into it, and I know it because you wake up, first off, a lot of the videos that I make are very early in the morning. So my brain's barely functioning anyway, right? Ain't coffee or anything. You get up, you throw together something you find from the gaming news that you can find online, whether that's X, whether that's one of the various websites that give you gaming news. You find some information and you try to piece something together, and then, you try to quickly make a video and then go to work. It's a lot to do in a very small window of time, and I can't get up any earlier than I'm already getting up. It's not feasible, y'all. So the way I've been doing it is really early in the morning, just before I go to work. So I'm really doing everything very fast paced. I'm quick. Throw something together. Okay, do this. Okay, let's hurry up, make some titles and hashtags and stuff. Okay, we gotta hurry up. No, it's time to go. All right, just gotta post it. It's not unfinished. The editing is unfinished. It's chopped up as best I could in a quick amount of time. Less than an hour or an hour. So, yeah. But I would like to get better, and I would like to find more time to make that happen. So I just need to intentionally work harder to find the news earlier, something that I can work on in the morning with less time researching, less time, just kind of speed, some way to speed it up, whether I'm just grabbing it in the evening and say, I'm just going to make this one tomorrow morning and kind of outlining it the day before. And then that way I can kind of rest, get up, review it, and spit it out. I don't know, edit it, throw it up. I don't know. We'll figure that out, It's going to be an interesting ride for next year, but and we're really, see, that's how I get off topic, y'all. I quickly can go on a rant about other stuff when we should really just be talking about, the year. And to me, overall, the year was successful. I mean, we've made successes. We've grew our gaming channel. We've grew our art channel. Podcasting is just not much growth there, but I think maybe over time it could potentially get better. I think we are getting better at this. It's just, I'm a little slow in my process of getting better, but I think we're making improvements. And consistency has been the key, right? Making something every day gives me an opportunity to speak and get a little bit better each day. And it's really challenging because I never really was a good speaker, and I still don't think I'm a great speaker. But that aspect of it has always been very challenging for me. So controlling my voice, the way I talk, the way I speak, in order to convey what I want to say and not completely botch it up. So we're at 25 minutes, almost 26. That is really good. I'm really happy with the successes of this year, and I think we can improve next year. And that's what we'll just do for our next podcast. We'll outline next year. We'll outline it. We'll write our schedule. And I think we'll do that on the podcast and just kind of have like a graph or a chart. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Maybe just I'll bring up a Word document from, and we can just like kind of outline our goals for next year. How we can improve on our content, make things better, and our way forward. And then maybe we'll have since we'll have an outline kind of written out, we can reflect the next Christmas. We can reflect on that and see if maybe we hit some of our wickets, I guess. That might be a good way to do it. And we'll keep working on it, y'all. We'll keep working on it. Like I said, we've made a lot of progress, especially with the gaming channel. Just if we look at from last December, where we was at 90. Okay, hold on, let me pull it up. So December we was at 79. Is it 79 subscribers? Wait, hold on, let me see. Where was it? Does it tell you? I think we was at 79 subscribers, yo. Something like that. I don't know. I know our it was very low when we at the last year. It was very low. I'm trying to see how I see it, because I thought this was it, but this doesn't seem like this is it. But I'm pretty sure we was under 100 or something like that. And now we're at 208. So really, I think really good progress in 1 year. For me, my growth has always been very slow when it comes to these channels. The only real booms I had was like during the pandemic, and that was during my Facebook switch out, which I should have never done. I should have just stayed on YouTube. Maybe I would have had a lot more on my Art with Errol channel if I would have stuck with YouTube and not switched to Facebook. So I always will regret that, because the Facebook crash seems like it just was not good, because we got really close to making partner on there. We was 700 and something, almost 800 subscribers over there, or followers, or whatever you want to call it. And the tank of Facebook really set us back. So to start over is for real, but we're making progress, and I think that's where we're gonna end it, y'all. So I appreciate everyone for joining the podcast, whether you listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music, or on YouTube. Please like the content, drop a comment, let's make next year a really good year and have hopefully more participation from folks. It'd be nice to have more participation. Appreciate everyone as always. And until next time, you know what to do. I'm out of here.